Hey guys, welcome to the Libero Network. My name is Robin, and today we are going to be talking about relationships and, more importantly, how to deal if your significant other, your partner, whatever you want to call it, your spouse, just doesn't understand your eating disorder or your eating disorder recovery. So, this really applies not just to eating disorders, but to all mental illnesses. Um, when you're in a relationship, it can be really tricky because, you really want that person to support you and understand, right, really where you're coming from. We really, really want the person we love to get us. And I think that goes without saying for anybody, no matter having a mental disease or not. We really want the person we love to be the person that just gets us, right? We see it on the movies, we hear it about from our friends. Oh, he just gets me. And when our mental health or something in our past has really been a big, big part of our life, we really want that person we love just get that and just to understand it. And the sad thing is, they won't. Expecting someone that has never gone through what you've been through, they just won't get it. And placing that on them is a huge expectation and a huge thing to just wrap their mind around. So today's video, I'm going to really explain the difference between understanding and supporting someone. Because when all is said and done, your significant other might never, ever understand you and your eating disorder or your mental illness, and that's okay. The point is that they support you and they're empathetic to your struggle and where you're at. So when we want someone to be supportive of us, especially when we've been through a lot in our life, the best thing to do is to be honest with them. And I've had people ask me that are in recovery from eating disorders, when do I tell the person I'm dating or that I'm interested in or that I'm engaged to that I've had an eating disorder or I'm struggling with one right now? And that's really, really such an individual response because there's so many other factors that come into it. So as someone in recovery, it's really important to just be honest with the person that you're interested in or are dating or even engaged to or married to. I know there's many people that get married and don't even talk about that part of their life to their spouse. And keeping that a secret can really eat away at you for a long time. And it doesn't allow that other person to fully support you and fully show up for you. And I think putting yourself in that vulnerable place opens the door for your relationship to go so much deeper. So if you made the choice to get involved with this person, then you should really be able to trust them with that information. And what they do with it is really on them, not on you. So the second thing in your significant other being supportive of you is that you need to ask for what you need. Unfortunately, significant others are not mind readers. They do not know what you need unless you ask for it. So it is your responsibility to really voice what you need in order to get those needs met. So I'll give you an example. I can give you tons of examples. I've been married for 5 years. So when I first started dating my husband, he would compliment me a lot on my appearance. And it really, really irked me. I'm one of those people that in my recovery, I don't like any comments about my appearance, how I look, whether it's good or bad. I just don't want anything about what I look like. And it finally got to the point where I felt comfortable enough and trusted him enough, which was really quickly actually, to tell him, hey, I really don't appreciate you telling me I look hot. And for a guy to hear that, that's really like, what? So finally, I got to the point where I told my husband, I really don't like you complimenting me. I don't like about my appearance. I don't like you talking about how I look. I'd really much rather you say something other about me and compliment me in other ways rather than I look hot. And it was really confusing for him. And it took him a long time to kind of grasp this idea. I'm not really completely 100% sure that he still, that he understands this still. However, he is supportive of this, of me. And there's very rare times he will say anything about my appearance. And he even tells me it eats him up inside that he can't compliment me about my looks. And that cracks me up, one. And two, it really, really lets me know he's listening to me and he is supporting what I need from him. So the last thing I want to talk about as far as support goes with your significant other is you must allow them to support you. This is a tough one for me. I think a lot of us in eating disorder recovery, or a lot of us that are going through an eating disorder, have built up a huge wall. We've been hurt. We've gone through a lot of crap. And in order to survive that, we must become tough. We're taught to take care of ourselves and be resilient and be tough, especially as females. But at the same time, we want to be vulnerable and we want to be able to receive that affection, receive that attention from our significant other. And when we've gone through a lot of trauma and a lot of crazy experiences that have really shaped who we are, there is that big tendency to build up those walls and protect ourselves, because the last thing we want to do is be hurt again or go through any kind of traumatic experience again. So in order to be supported, we must be able to receive that support. Our significant other, if they're a really, really quality person, wants to help us feel better about ourselves. And if we don't allow that, we won't ever be able to grow as a person or grow as a couple. So it's super important. The last thing I want to talk about as far as someone understanding your eating disorder is that there will be those instances when you're in a relationship with someone and you really, really like them. You might even think you love them. However, they are incapable of supporting you in your recovery. And this is a decision that only you can make if you are willing to stay with that and willing to live with that and possibly get your support elsewhere, maybe from a therapist or a friend or a parent. That is your choice to make. However, if you're really, really intent on this being the one, the person you want to marry or stay with for the rest of your life, and your eating disorder, your past is a huge part of who you are and what shaped you, you might want to reconsider being with this person. If you're not able to fully open up to them and fully allow yourself to be completely who you are around this person, they might not be the one for you. And as difficult as that sounds, it's the truth. There are a lot of people that will not be supportive of you in your recovery, and that's okay. What's not okay is staying with them and putting yourself through even more trauma and more negativity in your life because you think they are the person for you. I hope this video was helpful. There's so much I could talk about with this, but I wanted to keep it as short and sweet as possible. Relationships are a tricky animal, and especially when you throw mental health or eating disorders into the mix, it gets even crazier. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any suggestions or things that helped you with your significant other being supportive and empathetic of your past, I would love for you to share in the comments below what that was. And if you have any questions about, what should I do with my significant other, blah, 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 I'd love for you to ask those questions also in the comment section below. Thank you so much, you guys, and I will catch you next time. Bye.